Okay, what do we have going on here today? This is Brian Lewis with MMT Investing, and things just changed. So, looks like we have more action on our yellow line here. Okay, so let me talk about the lines a little bit. We have this outer tangent line that we're trying to set off the top of the everything bubble here, and that line is not going to come into play too much other than like 2 months from now. That line could be an interaction kind of zone that matters. Kind of like we crossed that this corner tangent here, we crossed it here, and that was part of this bull trap. So let's look back at this previous cycle for a second. So we have this 2018 Volmageddon line here, and we managed some pretty aggressive moves around and across this line. And then you can see right here, we swung back and we terminated this tangent line, and that's a 2-year tangent line back to the bottom of the 2018 crash. And then once you terminate that line, you get a drop out of here into the whole next zone of the bubble, and that line is gone. Like, we have bubbled up and reversed and terminated the tangent, and that no longer exists. We're out of there. And that's what we're looking for over here on ours, is if we're going to terminate this tangent. And this is a much bigger tangent. This is a 12-year tangent line that goes back to the bottom of the financial crisis, and it has supported that entire 10 to 12-year bull run that we got off the bottom of the financial crisis, with most of the activity on top. And what we have here is a 5-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave that is smashing that like button right now to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And once we got here to the top of this wave, we got this kind of wedge shape here, and we got this kick out of the wedge, and this kicked up the volatility hot. It popped down on the MACD. The longer term MACD is turning over, so this is a really big point. And then I pointed out the kind of the wave shapes. Like, this whole bull trap is kind of a positive wave shape curved up, and you get these kind of forward curving lines all along this run here. And then if you go back and look at the previous one, once you get out of this kind of positive sloped bull trap area here, you get these curves that are this way, and this whole entire wave is curved this way. And so if we're terminating this tangent here, you should expect that same kind of wave, which would be, you get these kind of curve shapes this way, and peaks up and curves down and peaks up, and it should be a curved line this direction. And that's kind of the look for now on the wave shapes. For this model to repeat here, if we terminate this tangent here, those are the shapes that we're looking for. And here's the end of the line, what we have so far. So we have gotten tests like all over this thing, and if you go back here, this is even getting tests on this previous one, here on the bull trap, here on the 3-wave. This line is crazy, and I've been wiggling it around trying to pinpoint exactly where it would be terminating it. There's some other spots where it makes sense to set this line, but I mean, now that we've gotten these, it's pretty obvious to put it here. And this outer tangent could get some more activity, but this is not a support line for the bulls. This is a downward tangent that will matter like 2 months from now, although we can get some more reactions off of it from the top or the bottom, or even like come back and back test it again. And so that's kind of the cyclical outlook, is that the cycle is looking to terminate this 12-year tangent and move down into the next phase of the bubble here at the end of the credit contraction cycle. We have, it looks like, maybe another month and a half of a credit contraction cycle, and that would be a down wave from here roughly for the next month and a half. That, not straight down, I mean, there will be up movements, but those up movements will all be along a sort of a C wave on the way down. If the cycle repeats like this, and Yeah, and this here, we're looking to see if this is going to terminate this tangent line. And if it does, then this thing no longer exists and you can forget about it. That's the end of that line. And then we can just look forward to our other zones down here and kind of try to figure out consolidation areas and see what the areas look like and see if we can repeat this cycle pattern that we've done here, because it's the same kind of pattern. We get the, here, let's pop auto back on. So we get an ABC correction wave here, which is part of an ABC bigger correction wave here, and that's the wave that I'm talking about, is that C wave that should be angled this direction, just like this one was. And then you get these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves on the B leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the B leg. Terminate this tangent, and then it's done. Once you terminate the tangent, it's done. That wave is done. It's a 12-year wave that has ended, and then you can move forward in the cycle. And this is the backside of the bubble. This is the everything bubble. And I have a little label here, yeah. So this is our everything bubble and our long-term tangent lines. And then we have some support zones in here in the middle to try to work out what's going to happen on the end of the cycle. And then a very aggressive, our next actual long-term tangent line that we have is the 1982 Volcker line. That's really the bottom of the entire everything bubble. And I think a consolidation down towards that line is really, really aggressive, and just in a 3 to 4 month cycle. That is the kind of thing that would happen in like 3 or 4 years, not one cycle generally. So just trying to figure out where we are. I mean, are we going to keep this financial crisis line as a long-term bull line? Like, the bulls need to do that right now, and we need to keep that line as a bull line, or do we terminate it and get out of here and then continue to unwind the everything bubble down to the bottom support lines, and then eventually, if it goes like the Nikkei, and the Nikkei got down to the bottom support line and kind of went volatile on it and terminated it, and then the Nikkei went into a long-term kind of bear market underneath that line. So that's kind of the bottom case, would be similar to the Nikkei. And then I would say like the Black Monday was a case where it got down to the bottom support bull line and it stayed on it. So you could do a Black Monday thing maybe on this line where you stay on that line, or this line where you just stay on that line, and it actually ends up being the bull line that goes forward. Or we have the kind of thing like happened with the Great Depression or the financial crisis or Volmageddon, where you get down to a point, and we couldn't do that off of this, but if we got down here in this cycle, then you can get a new bull market line that's steeper, and that is a possibility. That's like the V-shaped kind of bottom recovery that we got in like the Great Depression, the financial crisis, and that Volmageddon reversal, where you establish a brand new trend line off the bottom of the bubble into a new bull market line that could last for quite a while. So those are a bunch of random kind of outlooks. It's really hard to predict which kind of scenario we're looking at in this bubble. We have a bunch of other bubbles to look at, and we know this backtest and termination behavior happens all the time in these bubbles. So that's what we're looking at here is, do we backtest and terminate this thing? That's what we're watching this week, and it is so exciting. I'm getting super bored with this bull trap, and I want to see where it's going to go. So that's the outlook. This is not investment advice. Please hit the like button, and happy trading.